You guys are about to find out what a creative director does. You're about to find out who hires them, who they hire. Can you call yourself a creative director and a photographer at the exact same time? And then you're also going to find out why I think it hurts to call yourself a creative director if you're a photographer, and you shouldn't set yourself up for that. But if you want to be a creative director, then this video is going to show you how you're going to get there. The first question is, what does a creative director do? Think about the title, creative director. Creatively direct. So who do they do that for? They do that for big brands, politicians, they do that for recording artists, they do that for everybody. So somebody is the director of all the creative. They are in charge of the overall direction of a brand, of a persona. The second part is who hires a creative director. So you can be a big brand like L'Oreal and hire a creative director for your lipstick line, hire a creative director for the eyeshadow line, for the nail line. So you can subdirect all of this stuff too. So when you think of what a creative director does, they oversee all the creative in a brand or with a persona. That means they're going to have a big hand in who they hire. They're going to have a big hand in the photographers, the filmmakers, the videographers, the makeup artists, the stylists, the models that they hire, the colors that they pick. All of that is put together by the creative director. A creative director cannot be the same as a photographer, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as we go through this video. Now I want to go into what do they do on set. So when I work with a creative director, like anything for a record label, for a recording artist, for any kind of brand, or when I am the creative director and a brand brings me on, what happens is that they are the ones that are the brand ambassadors. They're the ones that's overseeing the entire shoot. They are the ones that's making sure that the models represent the brand, that the stylist is doing it the right way that the brand needs. Because the creative director has all access to the brand directors, a CEO, and everybody inside, they're the ones that get to see if the photographer caught everything. They're the ones that get to see if the model is posing appropriately, the right way, if the stylist is showcasing the clothing the right way. When you do a record cover, a creative director looks and says, well, I know what the music sounds like, and I know what kind of brands we're going to be approaching, and I know what kind of ads we're going to be in, and what kind of commercials we're going to be in, and what kind of sponsorships we're going to be having. So I want to make sure that the record cover that this photographer shoots matches all of that. So they're going to be almost like the conductor of an orchestra. I'm starting to tie in, can you be a photographer and can you be a creative director at the same time? How can you be the person who is guiding the photographer? How can you be the person that is representing the brand and be the photographer? So all the photographers that are calling themselves creative directors also, you can't do that unless you do it the right way, and we'll be discussing that too. So on set, I'm the one that when I'm shooting something and I'm tethering to a monitor, I'm asking the creative director for the green light. I'm asking for their thumbs up to go to the next look. I'm the one that's asking the creative director as the photographer, hey, so this is what we have and I have this much time left. I got this outfit or I got this outfit. Which one is more important to you? So as a photographer, the creative director hired me. The creative director said, Walid is the one that we need because Walid's work is consistent in the kind of style that we need. So let's get Walid to take our direction, the creative director's direction, and tell that through lighting and posing and composition, photography in general. Or if I'm directing a commercial, then Walid is the one that's going to be taking our commercial to the next level and making sure that the messaging is there. That's the communication on set. The photographer and the creative director are like this. Just like that, okay? But they also are going to butt heads a lot too because they both are creatives, that sometimes photographers graduate to become creative directors. So there is a little bit of a headbutting there. Ultimately, everybody knows their lane. Ultimately, the creative director is the ultimate boss. So let's talk about set hierarchy. You have the brand who may or may not even be there, but they wrote the check. You have the creative director who is sponsored by the brand or they're being paid by the brand. So they are the brand on set that day. They're overseeing all of it, not through guiding the production assistants on what to do, not the gaffers or anything like that. They are just talking to the photographer. The photographer then is talking to the stylist, the hair, the makeup, their team, the gaffer, the DIT, everybody else. Then the head gaffer or the director of photography, if there is one on set, they're going to talk to the gaffer, they're going to talk to the grip guys or ladies, and it's going to go on down the line. I'm talking to the person above me, which is sometimes a client is on set, sometimes creative director is the client, or they're both there, or one of them is there, but I'll be talking to the client / creative director. Without the creative director, it's really hard to run a successful set, but it's also in our benefit as photographers to make sure that we ask the creative directors what they think, because here's the beautiful part of it. When the client later on says, hey, we didn't get this one outfit, or we didn't get this one pose, or we didn't get this one setting, guess what? It's not my fault as a photographer. The creative director gave me the green light. Now it's a creative director's battle within the company to fight that, to argue that, and to say why we didn't do it. So you do want to involve your creative director on set as much as possible. Now, can you be a creative director yourself and a photographer? That's really, really a hard job to do. That means you're able to wear two hats at the same time. That means you're able to run two personalities, two personas, two full-time jobs at the exact time. How can you become a creative director if you're a photographer? I'm going to tell you, I'm doing that right now, but I've started doing that on a part-time basis about 10 and a half years after I first picked up a camera. It takes time to be a creative director. The reason why I waited about 10 years is because it takes that much in experience. Here's why it hurts you to call yourself a creative director early on. Most creative directors are in their 40s, or they're in their 50s and 60s and above. They have decades of experience under their belt. They have millions and millions of dollars that they've budgeted through invoicing and budgets and putting it together and putting teams, thousands of people together, that you need so much experience that you are almost, I cannot pick up a makeup brush and do what a makeup artist does, but I can tell you how their lane runs. I could tell you when it's done right. When it's done wrong, I can tell you all the pitfalls, and I can tell you how to navigate that. When you call yourself a creative director earlier on, you are now going up against, so once somebody says I'm a creative director, I'm no longer looking at you through the same lens that I would have if you said you were a photographer or you were a makeup artist. So it would benefit you to not call yourself a creative director earlier on, because you don't want to be put up against somebody. Imagine me putting somebody up against a Beyonce, a Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, and saying, oh yeah, this karaoke singer, somebody brand new, is also a superstar like Beyonce. It doesn't work like that. Beyonce is gonna pounce all over you. So we started doing that little by little by little by little. And people started hiring me just for creative director. Companies started hiring me saying, hey, Walid, we need you to come in, oversee it, but the aesthetic is not the aesthetic that you shoot, but would you be overlooking all of this for us? We really trust your eye. That's how creative director was born on my portfolio. So how do you become a creative director? One thing is, if you are in your second or your third year of photography, I would approach small brands and say, hey, I love what you do. I love your product. Do you need somebody to oversee all the creative? You could approach bloggers, you can approach cooks who are putting out a cookbook. Pick people in your neighborhood, in your regional area that you know are about to crack to that next level. When you see that happening, come in and help them. Help them take better pictures by bringing in a photographer. Start yourself early, start yourself small, and then work yourself up. As those people begin to elevate, guess what they're doing? They're picking you up and they're taking you with them. I hope that helped you guys. If you're looking for a masterclass that's gonna walk you through your whole photography career, my own roadmap. When people said I couldn't and I shouldn't and I can't do it that way, I did, and I surpassed a lot of their careers. And this isn't to ridicule anybody. This is to let you know that I figured out, I literally hacked the system of doing this stuff, working with certain clients like Jennifer Lopez, Kanye West, Madonna, Mariah Carey, all these different people, Usher, without an agent, without really a manager. I did it myself. So I've taken that roadmap and I'm going to help more photographers get there. That's down below in the description of this video. And I want to tell you guys to look at this video next. That's going to help you guys build your photography career even more. And I really appreciate it. And don't let what I said about creative direction stop you. Just do it with a plan. Do it where it makes sense. And I'm always here to help you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. My name is Walid Azami. I will talk to you guys next time.